So our final thing to talk about in this section is properties of infinite limits. So I'm going to suppose that I have two functions. Let f and g be functions where the limit of f of x is going to be, one has a limit infinity and one has a limit of a fixed number, L. And then we get the following properties. So if I take the limit of f of x plus or minus g of x, this limit would be infinity. That's because this function f of x essentially overpowers this g of x. The limit as x goes to c of f of x times g of x, it's going to be one of two things. It's either infinity if L is positive, or it's negative infinity if L is negative. And the last one is that the limit as x goes to c of g of x over f of x would be 0. Because this denominator here, this f of x, is getting larger and larger, and so overall I'm getting a smaller and smaller number. Okay, we can use these now to help us calculate some limits. So let's look at a few examples here. So calculate the following limits. So the first one we're going to look at, the limit as x goes to 0 of 1 plus 1 over x squared. So if I look at each piece now, the limit as x goes to 0 of 1, that's just 1. And now we're going to look at this limit, the limit as x goes to 0 of 1 over x squared, which we've looked at before. This limit is infinity. And so we can use that number, property number 1, to tell us that this limit is infinity. Our next function we're going to look at is the limit as x goes to 0, 3 times natural log of x. And so this one is a product, so if I split it up, what's the limit as x goes to 0 from the right of 3? That's just 3. And the limit as x goes to 0 from the right of ln of x. If you graph this, you'll see this limit is negative infinity. And so then this product here, limit, would equal negative infinity. Now let's look at one last one. The limit as x goes to 0 from the left of x squared plus 1 over x squared. So again, you break it up into its pieces. The limit as x goes to 0 from the left of x squared, that's 0. The limit as x goes to 0 from the left, this was, so this limit is infinity. So then together this sum would be infinity for this limit.